Are straight people okay? Refreshing.
Are they refreshing?
It's the opposite of refreshing.
Yeah. Hello, and welcome to Are Straight People Okay? The show where we check in with the majority to see, you guys doing okay?
I don't think so.
We just want to make sure.
It's terrible.
There are more of you than there are of us, and we just want to see. I'm Amanda. I'm a lesbian with she and her pronouns.
I'm Aliee. I'm a queer woman. My gender is a rodeo. My pronouns are yeehaw. They're she, her. But if you're a TERF, I hope you feel unwelcome.
Agreed.
Anyway.
We're doing excellent. There's a heat wave in LA. This is perhaps the soonest we've ever filmed an episode that it's going to be released like 3 days later.
We're melting currently.
We're melting. But anyway, before we check in with the straights, let's check in with each other. Allie, how are you?
I'm good. I did a road trip, and it's too hot outside. And I got COVID, which is why this is late.
It's okay. It's not the only reason.
How are you?
I've been good.
Good.
Hanging out, working, chilling out, laxing.
Oh, cool. Shooting some b-ball outside of the school.
With a couple of guys who are up to no good. Christina, how was your August?
Oh, I got older.
You did?
Wait, was your birthday?
Yeah, just 1 year.
What?
Happy birthday! Now that we've checked in with each other, let's see what the straight people are posting on social media.
No.
We're actually starting off with a trend. This was a Tik Tok trend. Okay, so it says, calling my fiance daddy in front of my dad is the trend.
Hey, Daddy, can you get me a fork? Babe, where are you?
Hey, Daddy.
What's up?
What are we doing for dinner?
Wahlburgers.
I was talking to him.
Call him Daddy.
Hey, Daddy, can you get me a fork?
Papi.
What?
Papi.
I'm Bobby, not you.
Okay,
All right.
so by the end, it's like, okay, some of these are scripted, which is fine. They're sketches, they're fun sketches. You still have to then talk to your father about the fact that you're going to make a sketch where you call both your boyfriend and him daddy.
Mm-hmm. The ones where, like, they have to kind of explain the joke, where they're like, no, I'm talking to my boyfriend. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it just makes it so uncomfy.
If you're calling someone daddy and they're not a dad, that's presumably a little more sexual, right?
Right.
And so then why would you want to bring that up to your parents?
I don't want to fold my parents into anything.
As a queer person, calling a man daddy,
No, but what if it's a not man that you're calling
that's
daddy?
what I was going to say. That's where it's like, oh, okay.
Like, you're like getting off on how uncomfortable you're making your dad
And your boyfriend.
and your boyfriend, and they're both thinking about you having sex.
Time to
You
call him
have to
daddy.
retire daddy after that. This
Yeah,
has to
that
be
is
daddy's farewell tour. It's tricky because it's not explicitly straight, but the straights are really leaning into it, and I think they should lean away.
Any final thoughts on that?
I want to forget it.
We're going to move on so that we can forget what we just watched.
Yes.
And that brings us to a new segment that I like to call Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time.
What is it?
Memes. Here's the first one. This is a picture of a very busty, voluptuous Darth Vader. It says, if Star Wars was filmed in 2024. And then it says, Luke, I am your father, which is a good instance of I would call her daddy.
Also, don't threaten me with a good time. That looks like someone from RuPaul's All-Star cast coming in Darth Vader drag and being like, Luke, I am your father. This sounds like a great adaptation.
Honestly, whoever made this, well done.
5 stars.
I will be in line to watch voluptuous Darth Vader. Moving on. It's a steamroller that has a rainbow on the steamrolling, and it's a bunch of queer stick figures in the steamroller rolling over people, and it says traditional family, Christian values, sanctity of marriage, etc. So we're doing some good here, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like, the sanctity of marriage, I think, is being pretty thoroughly ruined by the straights.
Agreed.
We're redefining the sanctity of marriage.
And
like,
also redefining traditional family.
yeah. That looks like fun. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Here is the slippery slope fallacy. It says we're at the peak where we're saying, just let them get married. How does this affect you personally? And it slopes to 10 years later, state-enforced homosexuality.
Ooh, how are you going to do that? Is that the same way you tried to force gay people to be straight? Oh, wow. It's almost as if the shoe were on the other foot. We wouldn't fucking do that. You bitches?
I don't know. I kind of want to now. Yeah, we're going to do conversion therapy on straight people.
You just watch these episodes and you reevaluate heterosexuality.
I love that it's state enforced. We've left it up to the states.
It's the states. The queer said states' rights.
But basically, we're going to go door to door. We're going to ask you who your favorite drag queen is. Mm-hmm. And if you don't give the right answer or no one.
If you've heard about our Lord and Savior Brandy Carlisle and or Chapel Brown.
Yes. You need to spell out hot to go. With your arms.
You will be issued an acoustic guitar.
Like in The Good Place, you'll be given a same-sex partner. Assigned.
One will be issued to you.
Yes.
The presidential fitness test will include putting on a harness.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. You will have to do rock climbing.
You'll also be...
Just because.
You'll also need to play soccer and know all of the soccer players, the women's soccer players. Mm-hmm. Anyway, vote for us in the 2024 election. But don't threaten us with a good time. This is a towel that says, honestly, what every mom needs is a wife.
Yes.
Correct.
I want to be a mom, and I also want a wife. Give me that towel.
I don't know if this was made by a queer maker. It really feels like they're trying to be cheeky by being like, the mom needs a wife.
Because men don't help.
But also, yes, mom does need a wife. Get your mom a wife now. Free to order at... FruityProductions.com. Okay, this video is brought to you by us, Fruity Productions, because we don't have any sponsors yet. Have you ever watched a video and thought, oh my God, is that a Jennifer's Body shirt? Wait, are those vibrators on that mug? Does that mug say, please top me? And thought to yourself, wow, I wish I could buy that. Well, now you can, because Fruity Productions has a store, and you can buy them there. You could get a Rockford Peaches hat, a Savo shirt, a Girl Fight Club mug from Bottoms the Movie. All that and more in the Fruity Productions store. That rhymed. Now back to the straights. All right, today we are going to ask the question,
Yikes.
Are women okay? I love you, women.
I am one of you.
Why are some of you obsessed with serial killers? And I don't mean true crime, the genre. I mean serial killers. Yeah. Like you want to date and are actively attracted to serial killers.
There's a word for it?
There is a word for it. Hebristophilia is a sexual attraction to people who've committed extraordinary crimes. Quote, criminals can make the perfect boyfriend in a way, says Louis Schlesinger, professor of forensic psychology. Quote, these women know where their boyfriend is at all times, and they only have to share positive encounters with him. Weirdly, it's a controllable and safe relationship option. Wild. There's also a feeling of being needed. Clearly, these women provide criminal men with much needed attention, and in turn, they get a sense of purpose, usually to help them get through a trial, says Schlesinger.
I am not attracted to serial killers, but I see the point. And I didn't think about it that way.
It is very much like, I can fix him.
Yes!
So one that is a little more recent that I've seen on TikTok, people thirsting over, somebody named Richard Ramirez, who was the Night Stalker in the 80s. Mm-hmm. From 1984 to 1985, Ramirez murdered at least 14 people during various break-ins, with his crimes usually taking place in the afternoon, leading him to be dubbed the Night Stalker, the Walk-In Killer, and the Valley Intruder. So he used weapons like handguns, knives, machete, tire iron, and a claw hammer, and he did some atrocious shit.
I didn't know people lusted after him.
Oh, you'll see. This was in the 80s. These obsessions keep coming up now because we keep portraying them in content, in media, as these attractive men. I know that apparently the character of Richard Ramirez, or the Night Stalker, was in something recently.
American Horror Story.
That because of that, he gets...
Oh, the girly popification. The attractive quality of this to women is that's a lot of personal attention. That these people actively pursue women to murder them.
Oh, okay.
That they focus all of their intention and energy on a woman is attractive to these women who are attracted to them.
Yeah, I think it's also, he's the bad boy.
Gross.
Moving on, There is a man named Wade Wilson who in June was on trial for 2 murders.
Yes.
That happened in 2019. He is not Deadpool, even though he shares the same name. Wade Wilson was convicted of killing 2 women in 2019. He picked up a woman at a bar and went back to a home with her and strangled her in her sleep. He then stole her car and tried to lure a woman who was walking on the side of the road into said car. He strangled her, pushed her out of the car, and ran her over 10 to 20 times.
And this is not even mentioning his 2 former partners who he actively abused and tortured and like put into a car trunk and drove around. He has a kid that he doesn't really claim or talk about. He's fucking terrible and a bad person. And if you're a true crime person, this guy had a bunch of head injuries. And now he's a terrible, terrible, racist, abusive murderer with medium okay bone structure. So now people are thirsting after him.
There is a big thirsting, this TikTok that says, oh my, hot as fuck. And then there are the edits that are like the thirst edits. Yeah, people are actively thirsting over him.
Oh my God, the bar is on the floor. Y'all need psychiatric help. Like, I do not know how much I want to dunk on you, but that is fucked up, ma'am.
Maybe it's something that you like think is fun and like it's a fun fantasy because you're like a book top girly who likes the power dynamics and everything. But like, do you really want this?
You can read that book. You can have your safe little fantasy and you can read that book and that is great.
Yeah.
I just like imagine for a second being one of his like former partners who he actively tortured and then you're like scrolling on TikTok and you see that. Like, how disrespectful do you need to be to fetishize a serial killer? What disregard do you have for human life?
Imagine being one of the victim's family members and seeing that. Obviously, whatever we say here doesn't matter. People are still going to do whatever the fuck they want.
Right.
But like, you want to lust after a fictional character? Go for it. But this is like a real person.
A real fucking criminal.
Who really killed people.
Yeah. I have too many opinions on this. I co-wrote a movie about it. Like,
But it doesn't stop there. In the comment section, there was somebody who said, did you know he would murder you and probably grape you? And somebody responded, I would thank him for it. I don't want to kink shame. But
consensual non-consent is definitely a thing.
yes. But maybe like, just if you're having these feelings and you're like, oh, I didn't think this was weird, maybe talk to your therapist about it.
Also, if you like want to explore some CNC, there are like some groups, there are some like nice fun DOMs you can find on the internet.
You know, really make sure you vet these people and meet them.
TikTok for it.
But yeah, there are people who haven't actually killed people who can act that out with you.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Let this man face his trial and rot away in prison.
Let's not forget, this man has not 1, but 2 swastika tattoos on his face.
Oh, what a winner!
He's got 1 small one and then 1 big one on the side of his head. And you guys are like, so dreamy. What the fuck?
My husband.
I know this is not probably limited to straight women. I know that there are probably a handful of queer women who are like in the alt space who are also like, he's so dreamy.
And probably some gay dudes who are like into it.
You're not going to fix him because he has a head injury.
You also shouldn't have to fix anybody. Why is that your kink? Please get into DIY. Please flip a house. Please refurbish an antique car. People are at projects. Ah!
Moving on. We're going to look through some really bizarre bathroom signs.
Ooh.
Bathrooms.
Gender essentialism at its finest.
Yep. We all grew up with a bathroom and it was gender neutral because everybody used it in your home. Mm-hmm. But in public spaces, people want to separate and it gets uncomfortable for most everyone who is not straight and cis. So here are some bathroom signs that people try to get creative with but are actually more confusing than I've ever seen and really hard to figure out. This one, I think it took me a while as I was staring at it. I can't even describe it for you, Christina, because I don't know how to. I was like, what is this puzzle?
Are those shoulder pads? Is that a dress?
I think it's supposed to be a dress. I think that's why I was like, wait,
not like a brutalist drawing of a dick.
Are we sure it's not?
That's a brutalist dick.
Are we sure those aren't hands next to her?
I'm gonna walk into that left bathroom like this.
But you have to,
like this.
You have to walk into the other one like this.
Like this.
Confusing. I remember looking at this one and being like, But which one is it?
Redesign the whole thing.
I think this bathroom site just made me question my own gender.
One is 7/8 of a pizza, and one is a slice of a pizza.
So this is for Pac-Man and
Watermelon.
yeah.
I get that this is like a penetrative heterosex gag. Get better jokes.
I still honestly would absolutely sit here for a second and be like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah. Because the other one could be like a little bikini cover, you know?
Yeah. And also, there are no toppings on this pizza.
Yeah. There's no cheese even.
Yeah. It's just crust and sauce.
Y'all have
This is a terrible
shit
pizza.
taste in pizza.
Moving on. One of them is just
Why? I
a
hope this has nothing to do with gender because these are not genders.
one of these is just a coffee and one of these is just a wine. Which one do I go into?
But I do love picking between nonsensical gender options. Because my gender in this case is coffee, right? You know, this is fun. We get to make a fun little choice. Like, it could be like Bert and Ernie. I'm like, which one are you going in?
It's like those tip jars that people put out where you're like, are you
Where
a
it's
team
like-
Jacob or
and
are you
then
team...
vote? Yes.
Yeah, that's
do
what
that
the-
for bathrooms.
Do that for bathrooms.
Is this for sober people and drinkers? Like, what?
Yeah. Is
Also, why would you need to be separate?
Also, if I'm somebody who doesn't like red wine or coffee, what do I do?
You hold it, Amanda. You hold it. It's a privilege to pee, not to quote Urinetown. You have to hold it until your gender rotates onto a door.
I'm just like taste testing these things outside the door and I'm like, I don't know.
You're getting sorted like it's a Harry Potter house.
This one is two stick figures who look identical. One has a thought bubble that says football and one has a thought bubble that says shopping.
Wait, they're not identical. The shopping one has a mouth.
Oh, is that supposed to be lipstick?
It's supposed to be lipstick. The only people who have actively taught me about football are women.
Like, I get it. It's a gender stereotype.
I don't like shopping.
I don't either. I could tell you way more about football than I could tell you about designer or anything. This is a common one that makes virtually no sense to me, but it's on 3 different doors.
It makes sense to me.
Oh, well, I get what they're saying, but it makes sense in the gender stereotype. It doesn't make sense in reality.
As someone who has been on dates with men, I will say that these need to be switched.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying is like, oh, the stereotype is that women talk more, so they're more blah, 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 and men are more like blah. But have you met men?
I have. They love a good yap. Not from you, though.
No.
They do love to yap.
If you're ever in a meeting, in a business meeting, where there are men, you know that this is a lie.
You ever been on a conference call with a man?
I'm not saying that women are definitely blah, but I would say that we're half of the door and they're all of the door. Mm-hmm. Ridiculous. Again, so confusing that I would absolutely not know which door to go
I would
into.
walk into the one with the urinal in it.
Yep. Thank you so much for watching. Join us next time.
Where things may or may not get better. Listen.
Thank you so much for watching merch. Thank you so much for watching.
What's the show called?
Where can people find you on the internet, Aliee?
At Aliee Chan on Instagram and at Aliee McBeal on TikTok.
Great. You can find me at Awkward Holland because we haven't done that in a while.
Oh, we haven't.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for showing up.
And we'll see you next month on our Straight People Okay.
Bye. Related to this, actually, we need less Joker and Harley movies. I think you had the wrong takeaway with 2 very specific characters.
Joker is so abusive to Harley.
Yeah. And her whole thing is she was very, very smart and then went crazy. She was a doctor. Put some respect on that name. That is Dr. Harleen Quinzel.
Quinzel.